Hey everybody, if you missed the sermon, I shared some pretty personal stuff, like way beyond my comfort level. You need to go watch it. We've got it, it's YouTube, whatever, you'll find it. What I talked about was a journey that I've been on. I don't even like calling it a journey because, anyways, at the end of February, I talked about in a sermon in front of other people that I was going to start eating healthier. This is not trying to convict you right now. For those of you eating a donut or whatever you're drinking as you watch this. But in February, I shared it with the whole church. That was 3 months ago. Now, let me tell you about the first couple of weeks of trying to eat healthy, starting to eat healthy. It was horrible. Absolutely tormenting. The mental games. First day was actually easy. Day 2 through the rest of the 2 weeks was absolutely grueling. I remember going through like warfare in my head. I would probably not even normally have the temptation, but anytime you say, hey, I shouldn't eat that, or I shouldn't eat that much, all of a sudden that's all you want, all you think about, and it gets all consuming. That was my first 2 weeks. But then after that, things began to change. The war changed. It was still there, but not near as intense, and I was getting victory over. Battles were being won. And I right now, don't face the same warfare. It's not as intense. And so I just want to, let me just highlight something very quickly for you, that the first 2 weeks of deciding to do something were absolutely grueling, but they are not near as grueling now. Time has transpired, but not just time. Things have happened in between that 3 months that I'm kind of highlighted on the sermon, and I talked about portion control. If you don't right now already know about portion control, you need to, because it applies in just about every avenue of life. Portion control. And portion control requires discipline. You know that. That's why there's about every kind of diet and approach to food stuff. That's why many people will give you articles, and there's Dave Ramsey, Joe Sangl, and all these people talk about portion control with money. Portion control requires discipline. So why doesn't everyone, since we know it requires discipline, why don't we all have discipline and portion control? And that's where I want to take this for a second. It's because discipline requires sacrifice. And that is what gets you and me out of portion control. It's the sacrifice. It's when you and I decide that, I want that. I feel like that. My emotions are even telling me to indulge in that. But sacrifice going, I even deserve that, but I'm not going to partake in that. Whether it be a dating relationship that you have right now and you guys are connected, you are in love, you plan one day to get married, but you actually decide out of sacrifice to not have sex and wait till you're married. That's a sacrifice. Discipline requires sacrifice. So bottom line, you can't have a close relationship with God without sacrifice. Okay? So here, how do you get started? Well, I'll tell you how I got started. I shared it in the sermon, but worth bringing up. Start from nothing and go to something. If you have zero sacrifice in the world of food, start with something like literally today. Deny yourself something that in a moment, like if you see it, smell it, crave it, just deny yourself just today. The whole diet you're going on is the next 3 hours. That's it. Just deny yourself one time. Do it. Do something. If it's dating, tonight, don't go further than you should with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Just today, it's just today. With money, don't go to Amazon today. Go from nothing to something, and then move it to scheduled, where now it's a repetitive thing, where if it's eating, maybe now it's on Sundays or Mondays or Tuesdays, you eat a certain way, and only on those days. Move from something to scheduled, and then from scheduled to what I'm always going to talk to you about, sacrificial. And I will tell you over and over, God wants you to get to sacrificial. This is not a 30-year plan that I'm sharing with you, but there's a plan move from nothing to something to scheduled to sacrificial. If you want to learn portion control, your ultimate goal is not actually a certain weight. It's not actually just a certain person or a certain dollar amount. It's a close relationship with God. And sacrifice is required for you to get there. Think about portion control this week and what you need to refuse so that you can get the relationship with God that you want. Thanks for listening.